Hello, class. I want to talk about some of the graphs that we are learning about this week. Specifically, here we will be talking about bar graphs and Pareto charts and pie charts. But I would like to stress you do not have to use Excel to create any graph that you might be creating during this semester. It is just a tool. You might have another tool to create a graph, that's fine. You might want to do them by hand. That is also fine. But I do want you to be aware of how you can create the graphs in Excel. So you might want to play around with it. Also, I am working on a Windows PC. If you have a Mac, and what are they called? Oh goodness, I don't use Apple products, so I don't know. But bottom line, anything that I am showing you here, you can also use on an Apple product. It just might appear slightly different. You might have to find it in a slightly different way. If you can't find it by playing around, something that you're trying to do, you can Google it. You can reach out to me and I will try to find the answer for you. So please just reach out if you're having trouble and you're trying to do something. So first I want to talk about bar graphs, and we're going to do that with the majors in this class. And you can see here on the left, this is a list of the majors, and this is the frequency. This is how many of you are in each of these majors. So the first thing that we're going to do is highlight the data that we want to graph in Excel. And we do that by just clicking on, this is a cell, any of these little rectangles are considered cells. And we're going to highlight the name of the major along with the frequency. If we didn't highlight the name of the major, that would not appear in our graph, and we would just have a bunch of numbers graphed, which wouldn't tell us much. So I've highlighted the data that I want to graph, and I'm going to go up to the top here and select Insert. And you see what we have over here is what looks like a bunch of graphs. I typically would go to recommended charts first. And like any tool, there's probably, 3 or 4 different ways that you can come up with the same result. So I'm just showing you what I might do. I would go to recommended charts, and you can see it's showing me different options. And one of them looks like a bar graph to me. If you go to all charts, you also will see a whole list of possibilities here. And I could select bar from here. But this is not what I want. I mean, this is a bar graph, but it is going, would that be considered horizontally? And I want it to be vertically, so I'm not going to do it that way. I'm going to go back to recommended charts and pick this one. So I've clicked on this and I'm going to hit OK. And here we have our bar graph with the majors. I'm just going to slide this over by clicking inside the graph and pulling it over. And you can see here are the names of the majors, and along your y-axis is the frequency. So we had 2 business marketing majors, and you can see, yep, that's true. Accounting, we had 1 major, and yep, that's true. A couple of advantage of doing something like this in Excel is, what if I realize all of a sudden, oh no, it wasn't 2 business marketing majors, we had 5 of them. If I change this number to a 5, the graph is automatically going to adjust and show me the 5 business marketing majors. So this graph is dynamic and it will continue to represent whatever data is here. So I'm going to put this back to 2 so it's accurate for our class. And here is the majors in our class. Now I can add more information. I'm going to select chart title. I just clicked on that. And I'm just going to start typing what I want it to be. So I'm going to start typing class. And if you look where I'm typing, it's showing up here. When I hit enter, you're going to see it here. So I'm going to say class majors, hit enter, and that becomes my class title. If you look over here, you see different icons. If I hit this plus symbol, it's going to show me different things that I can do in my graph. Now I would like to have access titles. So I'm going to click that, and you see here it's displaying access title for the majors and an access title along here on my y-axis. So again, I'm going to click on that and I'm going to start typing majors because that's what that x-axis is displaying, is the majors. And when I hit enter, it shows up here. And I'll click over here along the y-axis, and this is the frequency of each major. So I'm just going to start typing frequency and hit enter, and that shows up right here. So there are a bunch of things that you can do. I would recommend, if you are going to use Excel, and I do recommend that you get in and play with it and try to use it, just start clicking things and you'll see what it does. Pretty messy right now. I'll start unclicking some of these things. But, you know, there's just a bunch of different tools that you can use, and it depends cosmetically what you want to see and how you want to do it. So that is your basic bar graph. And now I would like to do a Pareto chart. And if you remember from the PowerPoint, all a Pareto chart is a bar graph, but it is in decreasing height order. So we would expect to see health sciences nursing first as our bar, and then going down to all those that have a 2, and then all those that have a 1. So I am going to delete this for now. And again, I'm going to highlight this. I'm going to say insert, recommended charts, and I'm going to go to all charts. And sometimes I don't know what the distinction is, but I am not seeing Pareto here. But I do know that if you select histogram, see right here, this graph, you see these bars are in decreasing height order. And actually, when I put my cursor over here, it's telling you that that's a Pareto chart. So you can get to this by going to histogram and then Pareto. And I'm going to say OK. Whoops, I don't know why it is doing that. Let's have a look. Oh, hold on. Let me try this again. I'm going to say insert, recommended charts, all charts, histogram, Pareto. There it is. The only distinction, I'm not sure what I did wrong, but on the previous time I did it, when it didn't look right, I had this bottom row highlighted with nothing in it. I don't know if maybe that messed it up, but this time it looks correct, so I'm going to select this. And as you can see, it is displaying the majors in decreasing height order. Also, one thing I want to point out, since what I just did there was a mistake, when you are doing, for example, a project that we will have, a hotel project, and if you try to use Excel to create your graphs, if the graph does not look right, then it's not right. Sometimes Excel is doing things that we might not anticipate. So if the graph doesn't look right, do not use it. You're better off trying to do it by hand if you can't get the graph to look how you expect it to look. So this is a Pareto chart by going through the tool and selecting Pareto. Again, we have chart title here. We can add a bunch of stuff to this if we want. But what I want to do now, I'm going to delete this. And I want to show you how another way that we can do a Pareto. The other way that we can do a Pareto is to simply do a bar graph, but we just have to put our data in order by frequency decreasing. So you have to select your data. Of course, we want the labels for their frequency so they will appear in our graph ultimately, or, well, in this first step, so that when we sort, we're going to sort on frequency, but we want the label to sort with the number. When 8 goes to the top, I don't want it to be next to business marketing. I want the title health sciences nursing to go with it. So over here, I'm going to see sort. I always go to custom sort because it gives you more control and you know exactly what you're asking Excel to do for you. You can play around with this. I'm going to go to custom sort. And my data does not have headers. If I had included major and frequency, this would be correct. It does have headers, but it doesn't. So I have to unclick that, and I want to sort by column B. See, the top here is B. This is frequency. It's going to sort on the values in the cell, and I don't want it to go smallest to largest. I want it to go largest to smallest. And I'm going to say OK, and now my data is sorted, and I can simply insert a bar graph. Right here you can see it. And this bar graph is a Pareto. What makes it a Pareto is the fact that it goes in decreasing height order versus just a simple bar graph. So this minor changes between this and selecting Pareto from Excel. When you selected Pareto from Excel, the bars are touching. Here the bars are not touching. It doesn't matter to me. It's just that it's in decreasing height order that distinguishes it from a regular bar graph. So that is our Pareto. I am going to delete this now. And the next thing I want to do is a pie chart. You can see these are the countries. I asked you which would be your most favorite to visit, and these are the results that I received. And again, I'm going to highlight the data that we want to graph. And we're just going to say insert. I don't know if you remember from the PowerPoint, this is qualitative data, these countries, and there's not a ton of them. So a pie chart is a good choice for graphing this data. And recommended charts. And you can see right down here, a pie chart, and we are going to select that and display it. Again, I can put something for chart title. And if you hit the plus, you will see that there's all kinds of things that you can do here. Data labels, it just put in how many of each of you selected that country. It is color coded. Next to data labels, I can drill down even more and tell it where to put the label: outside, inside, center. So there's many different things that you can do cosmetically depending on what you want to see. I just selected more options. If I want to look at this instead of the values, the numbers, if I want a percentage, Excel will calculate that for you and show you the percentage of each. We would have to go in and change some colors so that we can see this more easily. But my advice, play, especially when it comes to graphs. There's many different things that you can do to make it look pretty, basically. So that's it for now. Have a good week. And as always, please reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns. Okay, talk to you soon.